Your post on the 29th of August 2025 announced Advance UK surpassing what I understand today is 27,000 members. You've got plans to register as a political party at 30,000, and you personally pledged 100,000 donation. Elon Musk's August 26th endorsement called Advance UK the party to drive change, whilst dismissing Nigel Farage's weak source, he says. How's Elon's support shaped your strategy, and which specific policies align with his vision for Britain's future? Ben.
So, I mean, it's interesting, and I'm very pleased, if I may say so, Errol, to be on with you, because even though we haven't talked before, it was your coming on to Nana Akua's show in January that actually started the domino effect of my getting in touch with your son, because you came on to Nana's show. Do you know how they get you on down the line? They have guests in the studio, but they get someone in down the line, and you came on. And it was the afternoon, Errol, you might remember, when your son denounced Farage for the first time. And he said, Farage is not fit to lead reform. Do you remember that? I think it was the 5th of January, if I'm going
Yes,
by,
yes,
if I'm accurate.
yes,
Anyway, you came on and you spoke
yes.
very well, as you always do. And then Nana Akua asked me, she didn't, she said to herself, I wonder if we could get Elon on. And we follow each other on X. So I said, well, let me see if I can DM him, see whether we can get him on, because it's a 3-hour show. And I DM'd your son, and he immediately came back and he said, I'd love to come on, except I'm taking the children out to the cinema, so I can't. But let's chat later. And so that's how the whole thing started. So even though you and I haven't talked before, Errol, actually you've been a catalyst in my setting up a political party, basically.
Errol?
Great, great.
I know that probably comes to you probably thinking, what the hell was all that about?
Right. Well, Errol, Elon's endorsement of Advance UK, it's been called a political earthquake. As his father, do you see this as a strategic move to challenge the UK establishment? And how confident are you in Advance UK's ability to deliver on his expectations for real change?
Well, look, we are all, as I've said so many times before, we are all, sort of offspring of England, I mean, we all sort of come from England one way or another, or nearby in some cases, but most of us, I mean, 70% of the United States are British, of British extraction, at least, I would say. And, obviously we take a great deal of interest in what happens in England. In fact, of course, we always look at England as being, if we don't know what to do, we all sort of thought, well, what do they do in England, because they were always like, I remember when I was a young engineer, working for a British firm of consulting engineers in my early 20s. And, when we were told the people from England were coming, the men from England were coming, they always came in pinstripe blue suits with a flower and in their collar, and they had this pink look. They're very pink, a bit like you, Andrew. And they had this yellow hair like you as well, and they looked a lot like you now that I think about it.
Ah, there you go.
And they were very hoity-toity, they spoke very well,
Unlike me, I'm not hoity-toity.
And we felt terribly flat compared to them with our South African way of speaking. And everybody, especially my immediate bosses, were fawning, all over themselves whenever the people from England came. That was our attitude of England, I mean, if one of them spoke to you, it was like, you were in heaven, for a while, especially because they were always so nice, to people. But that's what the rest of the world thinks of as England. So what you have now is something is really hard for certainly for the older generation of people like myself to understand. A government which seems hell bent on crippling England,